So please put your hands together for Neelesh Kumar from 23 Degree Design Shift.
IDAC and the whole team to call me here to speak. And I am a little nervous because the format what they have given is 2020, where I have to speak 20 slides for 20 seconds for 20 slides. So wish me luck so that I can finish it in time. And I guess I can extend the way I am seeing the crowd. I can extend and we can do it more easier. So coming to the topic, so it's the story of a detail, and it is in the context of commercial and F&B interiors. So what is a detail? So after we have given the topic, so we have started discussing about what is a detail. So when we are talking about the detail, we always talk about God lies in detail, or the devil is in the detail. So these are the two things what everyone talks about. So Mies van der Rohe has told God lies in details. When we started putting these together and started debating on it, then we realized it's God and the devil, these are the mysterious things what we don't know. So at the end of it, it's the mystery which lies in anything is what the detail is. So what exactly is the detail as an architect or an interior designer? So the detail is the one which bridges the concept to the reality. So you do a concept, to get to the reality you always need a detail which helps you out to get it to the reality. The good design lies always in a good detailing. However your concept is, until unless it is not detailed well, the concept doesn't go right. So this is what we are talking about. Now, as a context, what is the role of a detail in a commercial or an F&B space? In general, like how Amit has spoken and the rest of the panelists have spoken, so there is always a context to any project what we talk about. So there is lots of natural elements. There are lots of entities which we take as a context and take the clues to design it. But when it comes to an F&B space or a commercial space which sits into a closed box where there is nothing as a context where we can derive it from, then what becomes the context? What gives us a clue to design it? So the brief becomes our context for it. So the brief, then we convert the brief into a parameters, because if you're talking about an F&B space, it's dining space. So everyone comes there to sit and dine. So what is that? We convert that into parameters. The parameters gives us the functionality and the aesthetics. These are the two things which are connected to any space. To come to this to reality is the detail what I'm talking about. To put all these things together and finish a project, there is a story to connect all these things together. So now I will just present few projects where we are talking about a story behind each project for it. So I will be defining that into two entities. One is the functionality of it, one is the aesthetics. How the detail has defined the functionality and also the aesthetics. The first project what I'm talking about is an Asian restaurant. The story behind when we started with an Asian restaurant is the Japanese culture, where the Japanese start with a mat. There's a standard size of a mat which acts as one module. So that module is repeated into multiples, and that multiples forms a room. That room becomes a multiple, and that forms the whole house. So everything starts with multiples of one single mat. So that's the story behind when we started the whole restaurant. So the whole restaurant is divided into 6 feet by 6 feet grid. Now that's the story behind it. What is the detail? The detail is the construction technique from the same thing what they used to use bamboo. We have converted that into wood. So this helped us the functional aspects of the whole space, where the doors, the furniture, everything is derived by the 6 feet by 6 feet grid. So this is the functional aspect of it, where the detail has taken the center stage and it is creating the whole space for us. So one small detail, it creates the whole space for us in this particular project. So everything what you see is in multiples of 6 feet by 6 feet. It might be divided into smaller frames that becomes those panels. every frame becomes host the doors, furniture, and the lighting into it. So this is what the whole detail has worked out for us. Lighting, furniture, doors. So this detail is where the center stage for the whole project is. The next project, what it comes is a hair salon. So sorry, we couldn't have any story for it where we can connect it to the functionality. So the functionality is the only thing what we have connected to it. So that becomes the parameter for us. So we had taken the display units, we have taken the storage units, we have taken the lighting entity and the ceiling as the main entity, and then started detailing it out. So what happened with this is, we have started putting all these things together, and one detail is what is developed. So this is one small metal connector which is 3 inch by 3 inch. So this is the hero of the project, which has connected all the wooden members together and started creating this whole space. So every member has a light, so it also becomes a chandelier, it becomes a storage unit, it becomes a partition system, it also becomes a ceiling and connects the whole space together. Now, the earlier thing what I spoke about is more about functional aspect. The detail or an F&B also needs aesthetics. What people want to take it when you go there, what is that you see it and what is that you take back from it. So this is another Asian restaurant, what we have done. So when we started doing a Chinese restaurant, it is the red color which is more prominent. Everyone want to see the red, which is very associated to the Chinese restaurant. But not being so obvious to it, we started with a legend which is in Japan, where they see 1,000 cranes flocking together, your wish comes true. That's a story, there's a legend. So all the grandmothers or all the elders, they make paper cranes, they make 1,000 of them and they gift it to their grandchildren so that their wish comes true. So that's a legend, that's the story behind the whole thing. That story we have started with a detail where we have made the metal cranes, put them together, connected all those ones with the services, and this whole space is connected with this one single element. So there's a story to it. There is a connect with the whole space what you are dining in. That is the story what you take back from that particular space. And this is the whole work what happened in the process of developing the whole detail. So this is the end product of the project. The same aesthetics is the third restaurant what I'm talking about. This is an Indian cuisine. Now, what the element as in here is, what is that you take back? It's a dal smasher what you use in your house. So that comes from the kitchen. So that one single element what you're seeing is that where you take it back. How we have used the whole thing into one single space is this. So this one single element, there are 20,000 dal smashers in this whole project where they are hung from the ceiling and the whole thing is created like a space in. So whoever enters in that space, they ask for it, what is this? Then they are surprised when it is told that it is a regular item which is there in the kitchen what is used by their mother or them. So that's where they are taking back from there to remember that space or to connect to that space. So this is the last project what we can talk about is a bar what we have done. It's a high energy bar. It's office after office is what the whole brief of the client is. So what happens after office is you party. So this space, what you see the element here is taken by an old office lamp. So what does a lamp do? What does the character of a lamp? It is connecting you to the office. But what is after office is you are going to have high energy space. So this is more a kinetic sculpture which is connected through the whole space. Your central bar counter is, can you just play the video? So this is a central bar counter. So the lamps has a certain character to it. So it defines the high energy in the whole space. So people come in there, they party, is a sound to it. different sound mode, but how regularly it happens in a very high energy zone. So this is the character what is developed in it. So there is always a story what we talk about is, and the detail helps us realize those stories and get into a space. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neelesh. It was a beautiful presentation, and you really adhered to the time. And your details in your story was fantastic. I loved the way the lights were moving, so thank you for that. And requesting Amit to kindly do the honors and felicitate Neelesh on stage. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Neelesh.